This is my studio. All paintings are on the wall, but this shot was done like a 2000, maybe 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is also 2003 or something, before Eve was born. Here's the idea of I'm replacing current Catholic Church confessors with Momotaro-san and also Pussy Riot. So they're the new confessors in Catholic Church. Anyway, in my narratives. And here's a punishment for confessors who is really into erotic materials in their iPads. They are not studying Bibles, but they are really adoring these erotic images. So Pussy Riot and the geisha said, "Yeah, let's get these guys punished." And the geisha said, "I got a good idea, you know, bouncing massage. So let's jump on them, you know." And actually, you know, you wouldn't believe. Okay, my friend, he is a reverend of Episcopal Church. He said, "Masami, you are not joking." I mean, actually, we had a masseuse came to church, and then they were, you know, giving stepping on their back or front, and then this guy said, "Wow!" he flew away, and then the masseuse also flew away. In fact, the masseuse jumped on him, wrong place. So, "Masami, you are right. You are not really joking." I said, "Oh, really?" So actually, that is part of all personal information that he shared. Wow, really? I don't believe it. So anyway, so I came from this imagination, but it turned out to be, actually it happened. Here's, you know, the title should really work for this composition. The Pope, Putin, and Pussy Riot, and Momotaro. And Momotaro-san is a real active, current live geisha that I met through Twitter. And while I was twittering to Pope Benedict, I actually happened to saw her Twitter posting. So I told her that, you know, I'm being interested in why you have a boy's name, Momotaro. Momotaro is a children's fairy tale, and a very strong boy who goes out to Devil's Island and then defeat these devils. I said, "Oh, that's perfect for me to integrate that, you know, whole fairy tale into my story, a confessional story." And then when I asked her, "Would you like to come over for, you know, opening?" And she said, "I'm interested in." "Oh, you're interested, great." So anyway, when she came, I asked her why she has boy's name. And then she said, "Actually, Masami, you know, I read this novel by Koizumi Kyoka, who lived in Meiji period." And she said, "This story I fell in love with so much." So one of the main character of this novel is a geisha, but her name wasn't Momotaro. So she took Momotaro from that novel. And then I was also told my friend who are really culturally keen to traditional culture in the same town, Kanazawa City. And he said, "Oh, Masami, you didn't know this? No, there's a lot of records that Japanese geisha took a boy's name, and then that's all he told me. So I had to study why that was so. And then one document says in Tokugawa government era, Tokugawa government in Japan lasted 300 years. Peaceful time, and then they were good enough to financially they are secured sort of institution where they had a geisha quarter, and so the number of geisha women took a boy's name because government dismissed or they didn't bother whoever has a boy's name geisha. So it's a tax-wise. This woman said, okay, if I had a boy's name, government doesn't really chase me around for tax, so I better have a boy's name. So that's one historical information that I learned. But it's so interesting for me to just trace a history and then what that really implies. And now I painted this one like last year, and then before this painting I have a bunch of Pussy Riot theme paintings, and the actual reason that I wanted to paint about Pussy Riot was I didn't want Pussy Riot to be jailed and then they will never come out. I really hope that they will come out with a much lighter penalty, not 2 years of prison. So I just thought I wanted to bring out who they are. So I'm still learning about Pussy Riot's mission and then philosophy, and basically I understand that their philosophy is like a free expression and then equal rights, and I'm all for that. So I would like to just finish this sort of my small narrative as a sort of like starting next sort of series that I'm focusing on right now, and oh, here is something that I should mention. The Russian ballerina is a Putin. He could make a great Russian ballerina. I wish he could have had enough sort of financial help when he was young. See, he grew up in a really funky poor district, I understand. So he was a tough boy, and he never really want to lose a battle, fighting battle. But if he can really zoom in to focus the energy into ballet, I mean, he could make it like a famous Russian ballerina with a judo style, you know what I mean? anyway, I think Putin has so many faces that I quite don't understand. And I feel comfortable with, talking about Pope Francis, because I feel like he's a friend. But, anyway, Putin and Pope Francis are friends, so I'm hoping eventually I'll meet Putin. That was my sort of story. And so if you have any questions, please, feel free to ask.
So we have a mic. If anybody has a question, I can pass it around.
Well, great. No question. Wow, I must have exhausted you. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate, I really do appreciate it.
Masami, hold on, we have a question.
Hello, I seen you started off like your show, with the sexuality and the woman thing. But you personally, like, what do you believe as in like marriage or stuff? Like, you should only have sex with your wife, or are you open to a lot of things?
Excuse me, would you mind let me know? Partially, I have a hearing issue, and partially I have an eye issue.
All right, so
partially I have a brain issue. So please, okay, I'll try to listen.
Okay, so what inspired you to start the whole, female sexuality, like get into that artwork?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Actually, the reason that I think I look at female sexuality is a sort of basic thing is perhaps this. I grew up in a family with the three sisters, and my family used to take a bath all together, and then actually my sisters, I used to say, okay, well, you have peaches, and then my sister said, oh, you have a mushroom. Oh, yeah, I do have a mushroom. Anyway, so actually, if I'm not mistaken, I used to take a bath with my aunt when I was 13. And then my sisters, we used to take bath when they were high school girls. So to me, it's like a part of a whole sort of like a family, orientation. And I don't think this is typical of Japanese, but I think that has influenced, sexuality is a beautiful thing. So that's where, my sort of visual story started and evolved.
Now that we broke the ice, anybody else? Anybody?
I just wanted to, is it on? No? I'll just project my voice. I just wanted to know, what would you say are like the main differences culturally between sexuality?
Oh, excuse me. Could you use a speaker, please?
It's on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Since we brought up sexuality, I just wanted to know, like, what would you say are like the main differences culturally between sexuality and its acceptance in Japan and in America? Because I hear a lot of different things, so I just want to know your perspective on it as an artist.
I'm sorry, my hearing is defect, and I need to charge the battery. No, actually, I couldn't hear.
Masami,
okay.
what's the difference between sexuality, the way it's perceived, and in Japan, and versus how it is here in America? What are the differences?
Okay, the difference?
In your opinion, the differences?
Yeah, actually, it's very strange kind of situation because Japanese culture, Japanese people understand that we have erotic theme woodblock prints and the painting and the screens as a sort of part of high class sort of a culture. Because if you take a look at Japanese erotic theme compositions like woodblock print and then screen, you would notice that a lot of samurais are wearing high class hats, like a Pope would wear. So actually, shunga is not really coming from anything like a lower class tradition. I mean, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, so that's one thing that Japan culture has, Japanese culture has. On the other hand, recent Japanese culture in Japan is like they are totally old style. So actually, they don't even know, how American sexuality revolution took place in the 60s, and then evolved to 70s, 80s, eventually, 80s and 90s, and with AIDS invasion, all sexuality concept here, free, sort of like a going kind of a sexuality or revolution, sort of like had a huge break. So the difference is definitely American sexuality is concerned, I feel, 100% much liberal Japanese one. Did I answer?
Yeah, so you say Japan is more conservative in terms of sexuality?
Is Japan more conservative in terms of sexuality?
Definitely you can understand that way. I think it's correct because, Japanese people, when I visited my high school high school friends, and I feel like they haven't really had any idea of what's going on in this country. I mean, they stayed as I had left them 50 years ago or so. I said, wow. And my sister is talking about the friend who met 50 years ago as if it's happening now.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much, by the way. My question, actually, I find it very interesting, entertaining, listening to you, that your narrative that you add to your presentation with your paintings. Is that part of the process that gets you through, the composition and how you execute your paintings from beginning to end? Does the narrative come first? Is it just something that's unofficial? How exactly does it come about?
Would you mind
Simplifying?
Yeah, because I missed a few spots.
So I really enjoyed your narrative that you keep talking about with
Yeah.
each piece. How is your narratives part of your process for every painting that you do? Does the narrative come first? Does it develop as you are executing your painting? How does that go about?
So actually, narrative part of my creative process, and also visual vocabulary or visual composition, they work together. So first I have a strong idea that this painting should be talking about AIDS, or this should be talking about clergy sex abuse. So that's the concept there. But then I start drawing, and then when it comes down to nitty gritty, like a detail work of props that I create, and then it needs a strong sort of a story to come around. Otherwise, composition doesn't make any sense. It falls apart. So when I get lost in composition, I write. So if the essay or whatever the text is strong enough, then I can transfer it to visual terms. Yeah. So it works together. And also a lot of things that I would not have even guessed would come in while I'm painting. And if I were ready to discover the strength of the unexpected, accident, positive accident, and then you would know, this is it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a narrative and a conceptually strong concept, moves on, evolves together, but then something else would come in, even make even stronger. So that's what I'm, really interested in, and that's what motivates me so much that, I don't get bored, and I'm still working.
I just wanted to ask, what is your favorite medium? What is your favorite medium? Do you prefer watercolor or?
Actually, both. Yeah. Right now, I'm using oil painting because of the subject matter seems to need something that very textural and tacky, and whereas watercolor painting wouldn't do that too.
So does your subject matter dictate your choice of paint or your choice of medium?
Actually, subject matter really influenced the choice of medium. Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot.
Hi, my question is, how long does your average painting take?
It depends on. Sometimes it moves on pretty good, fast, but then the average time that I have spent for the large triptych painting is about 1 year. I created 1 year, one painting a year. Yeah.
Are your paintings done here, or do you go to Japan and paint there?
No, actually, my studio is in Hawaii. So a lot of work that you have seen in the internet are all either created in Los Angeles or in Hawaii. And actually, I went to Los Angeles Junior Harbor College for 2 years, and I graduated. And I studied drawing, and also I took music on drums. It's a snare drums, not the whole set. and so that's 2 years. So actually, I have been quite, familiar with Long Beach or Palos Verdes and Wilmington area. And I must have derailed from your question. Where was I?
Oh, it was if you painted here or in Japan, but you said your studio was in Hawaii. But thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Masami, for giving us a really good presentation about your work. A lot of students here are figuring out their medium. They're figuring out what type of artist they want to become. Can you speak about your transition between your schooling and how you became the artist that you are today?
Excuse me. I'm lost here and there. So would you repeat?
Sure.
Please.
Can you speak about how you became the artist that you are today? But can you speak about your transition between being a student and then going into a professional art practice?
I still don't understand. Maybe.
So the question is, can you talk about how you transitioned from being a student to being an artist, a professional artist?
Oh.
What was that transition? How did you?
Yeah. Well, actually, my sort of a career started smoothly, if I may say, because while I was at Otis used to have art sale, student art sale, and some people who visited Otis art sale, they started buying my work. And then from there, I just kind of keep them going. So it's a pretty smooth sort of a transition. And eventually, some of the people who bought my work opened a gallery, and then he approached me, and then we decided to work together. So that was my sort of starting point. So the point is that if you have student artwork sale, I think that's where you can even start practicing a professional sort of like steps that might work for you.
Masami, a long time ago you told me that you used to play saxophone when you were working on your compositions.
Yeah.
Do you still play music?
I do. Actually, this coming Monday, my composition that I thought I wanted to finish, trying to go through the whole composition, and I wanted to ask a professional musician and say, I have a trouble just making bridge in between this melody and that melody. And so I went to see him, and he said, Masami, actually your bridge works. So why don't we just, record your work? And in fact, actually, I called my friend, a big band in Honolulu, and the big band guy said, okay, we play Masami's work. Actually, I never even tried to do anything. This is one composition artist. That was it. So I'm expecting this, big band is going to play a composition that I wrote this Monday in Honolulu. Great. And I play piano, but not really professional level, but I love to just play, keyboard.
Okay, Masami, I think if there's no other questions, anybody have anything really pressing that they really feel they need to ask?
Here's
Yes, during the transition.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, my name is Billy. I'm one of.
Oh, could you speak closely to the microphone? It's if you pull it close enough.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Billy, and I'm a student of the professor. I was wondering, how much did you sell your art paintings when you were making the transition?
How much?
Were you selling the art paintings when you were making the transition from
student
to professional?
Student to professional?
Yes.
Actually, I started out like $3.50. I think everybody can do that, right? I mean, $3.50. The size is guess how big it is. About this big. Actually, you're right. I have met a few people in Hawaii. Say, Masami, I still have your student drawing. Oh wow, really? That's $3 thing? I said, yes. So you can start anywhere you like to.
Okay. Thank you all for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
Thank you, Masami.
Thank you. Great. Thank you.